week on One Devotion. A champion recounts how his rapid rise this time last year came about. A one-of-a-kind superstar passes on knowledge to an eager protégé. A rookie scorer gives thanks to the woman who helped shape his game. Plus, all the most spectacular moments from this week's scintillating action. As a young player making his way in basketball, there could be no better role model for FC Barcelona star Alex Abrines than his teammate and European basketball legend Juan Carlos Navarro. The pair are currently spending their third season together, following Abrines' move from Unicaja Málaga in 2012. And he admits the opportunity to play with and learn from Navarro was a significant factor in his decision to join Barcelona.
Pues muy importante, ¿no? Yo creo que es un jugador referente para todos los españoles. Diría que el mejor jugador de Europa de los últimos 15 años y bueno, pues el poder compartir vestuario, estar cada día entrenando con él y aprender de él, pues yo creo que fue la guinda del pastel.
For his part, Navarro has been more than happy to embrace the role of experienced veteran, providing guidance to Abrines, who was only 18 years old when he arrived to Barcelona.
Es un jugador con mucha proyección que juega más o menos en mi misma posición, pues intento ayudarle en lo que pueda, ¿no? O si en algún momento pues tiene alguna duda o de alguna pregunta, pues intentas solucionarla.
As the leading scorer in Euroleague history, you might think that Navarro would most help his protégé refine his shooting technique, but that is not the case, with the elder statesman focusing more on giving Abrines tactical rather than technical advice.
El tiro no, porque el tiro lo tiene muy bueno, quizá en un poco lectura del partido. Intento pues corregirla a veces cuando tira el balón en el suelo o a la hora de crear en un pick and roll, pues que sepa leer, intente leer todas las situaciones. Yo creo que eso es lo que tiene que mejorar más.
In addition to game-related tips, Navarro believes one of the biggest ways he can help players like Abrines is by guiding them towards the mental adjustments required to enjoy success with one of European basketball's most successful and most demanding clubs.
En saber dónde están, también cuando llegas a un club con tantas aspiraciones como es el Barcelona, que vas a competir por todos los títulos, ellos ya saben que en cada entreno están compitiendo contra los mejores de Europa, ¿no? Y eso siempre tiene que ser una motivación, un aliciente para seguir mejorando.
Since they have been working together on a day-to-day basis, Abrines has found that Navarro offers an example of how to conduct himself off the court. But does he ever try to copy him on the court?
En la pista intento pues, hacer esos tiros locos que hace él, que bueno, ninguno de los dos toca aro, él las mete y yo las fallo, pero bueno, poco a poco va saliendo la cosa.
And although Abrines is still only 21 years old, Navarro believes that if he maintains the right attitude, he has a very big future in the sport.
Sin duda, él es un jugador muy joven. También el tema de haber ido este año también a la selección pues, es importante para él. Pero él siempre va jugando más minutos. El año pasado fue importante en momentos puntuales. Y yo creo que este año tiene que dar el paso más, ¿no? Seguir aprendiendo, seguir siendo humilde, escuchando pues, al entrenador y a los compañeros.
Whatever happens in the future, Abrines admits he will always remember and be grateful for the time he has spent in the same team as Navarro.
Es todo un privilegio. Yo creo que bueno, sí que bueno, cada vez tengo más responsabilidad en este equipo. Navarro pues en su día pues ya pasó por esto y bueno, se ha convertido pues en el referente del Barça en toda su historia casi, ¿no? Yo creo que bueno, el estar al lado suyo pues de alguna manera pues te ayuda a mí pues a coger los mismos pasos que cogió él, ¿no? Y hacerme importante en este club.
Marshawn Brooks was probably born to play basketball. After several seasons overseas, he made his debut in the Turkish Airlines Euroleague at the age of 25, quickly becoming a key player for EA7 Emporio Armani Milan. Like many other players, basketball was his destiny because it was important in his family. But unlike many other players, it was the females around him as a boy who led him to love the game.
I mean, as far as I can remember, they put the basketball in my hand. I was born into a situation where I had my mom, my aunt, my grandmother, and I had a couple cousins that played basketball that were males. And I remember playing basketball with them early, and then me and my mom, we moved to Atlanta, Georgia. Just me and her, and she just kept me on that track.
His mother was a fundamental influence, but she wasn't the only one.
My mom and my aunt were phenomenal high school basketball players. My aunt actually went on to play college, and she's now a WNBA ref. So, I mean, it's all throughout our family.
Besides playing as much as he could, from a very young age, Brooks was watching basketball close up too, thanks to his aunt.
I just remember going to her games. She was refereeing high school when I was around 3 or 4 or 5 and 6. Now she's actually one of the best referees in the WNBA.
It wasn't long before Marshawn was shooting hoops in his home and playing with older members of his family.
Organized basketball around 5, but I was playing shooting at 3, 4. I was fortunate enough to have a basketball court in my driveway, so I was shooting as far as I can remember, trying to play with my older cousins.
Although there were moments when he tried other sports, there was never any doubt in the mind of Brooks or of his mother as to which one he would pursue seriously.
Yeah, I played football growing up too, but basketball was just my first love. It was, I mean, like I said, as far as I can remember, I've been playing organized basketball when I was this big. My mom has the pictures on the refrigerator, it's kind of cute. But yeah, I would definitely say that she pushed me towards basketball. And that's what I wanted as well.
Brooks was always a talented shooter and scorer, but it took a lot more than that to impress his mum.
She's my biggest critic. You know, scoring's always been something that came easy for me even since I was little. I could shoot, just score. She would always say, well, you had this many points, how many rebounds did you have? How many assists did you have? How many steals? So it's hard to impress my mom, I would tell you that, even to this day.
Although Brooks never really played basketball with his mum, she was always the driving force behind his development into becoming a professional.
Well, I played with my mom one time. I probably was 6 or 7 at the time. But she just made sure I was on track, you know, taking me to practice on time, making sure I was early to the gym, and then, you know, on top of that, after practice, I would go play with my friends.
After all these years, his mother and his aunt still provide Brooks with invaluable advice.
We definitely talk, and they watch all my games, so they have their advice, their 2 cents they throw in. Of course, that's never gonna stop, especially from my mom. My aunt, she's a little easier on me, but my mom, yeah.
The conclusion for Marshawn Brooks is clear. Men can definitely learn from women in the sport of basketball. What matters isn't gender, but rather devotion.
No question. Female or male, I don't really think it makes a difference. We're talking about 2 females that averaged 20 in high school and went on to college. My aunt went on to college to be a great player, and then, so it really doesn't matter per gender, but yeah, I think it was a great advantage.
Let's check out what happened in the games of round 3 in the top 16. Maccabi won a thrilling game of the week against FC Barcelona. Real Madrid eased a victory over Alba Berlin. Panathinaikos was dominant at home, and Galatasaray edged out Crvena Zvezda. After 8 consecutive defeats against FC Barcelona, reigning champion Maccabi finally ended the jinx with a 2-point victory over the Spanish visitors. Jeremy Pargo led the way with 20 points, while Ante Tomic responded with 21 for Barcelona. And the outcome was sealed in the final seconds when Devin Smith blocked Maciej Lampe's attempt to force overtime. Another Spanish team had more luck on the road as Real Madrid, led by 13 points from Sergio Llull and 7 assists from Sergio Rodriguez, overcame Alba Berlin in Germany. Panathinaikos started strong at home against Žalgiris Kaunas and never relinquished its comfortable advantage, winning by 19 as Nikos Papas top-scored with 14 points and Dimitris Diamantidis provided 6 assists. In a fantastic basketball atmosphere in Belgrade, Crvena Zvezda and Galatasaray were locked in a tight battle, which saw neither team lead by more than 6 until the closing stages, when a late burst from Justin Carter and Carlos Arroyo gave the visiting team its first road win of the season. Real Madrid is undefeated and alone at the top of Group E, with Maccabi, Galatasaray and Panathinaikos 1 game behind. Crvena Zvezda is the group's only winless team after 3 rounds. CSKA Moscow's unbeaten record survived one of its strongest challenges yet. Olympiacos also stayed perfect in the top 16, and they were crucial first victories for EA7 Milan and Laboral Cucha. Fenerbahce and Olympiacos matched up for a high-octane battle in Istanbul, with danger man Andrew Gadolok leading the way for the hosts and Matt Loyeski countering for Olympiacos. It was close all the way and tied deep into the final minute, until Vasilis Spanoulis stepped up to sink a tough 3-pointer and lead his team to victory. Another thriller in Istanbul was equally close, as Anadolu Efes matched CSKA Moscow nearly all the way, but weekly MVP Nando De Colo came to the fore with 11 fourth-quarter points, and the Russian team won its 13th consecutive game this season by a 6-point margin. In Malaga, one team had to break into the top 16 win column, and EA7 Milan claimed that honour thanks to 20 points from Alessandro Gentile and a late barrage of triples from Linas Kleiza. There was also a first victory for Laboral Cucha, which overcame an early deficit against a Taylor Rochesty-inspired Nizhny Novgorod and rallied for a vital victory behind Mike James and Colton Iverson. CSKA and Olympiacos share the group's lead with 3 wins out of 3, with Anadolu Efes a game back. Then come a batch of 4 teams with 1 win, while Unicaja Malaga is looking for its first top 16 victory.
My funniest teammate is African Kosher because he's the guy who been my roommate. We spend a lot of time together, but we had very good communications without languages, you know, what is very funny.
Like before the games, we do with Jack some funny stuff, and I think Jackson.
My funniest teammate would probably have to be...
That's tough.
Alex Sabrinius.
Lucas.
I like hanging out with him. He's a positive character.
Just if you look him, maybe you can understand why.
Sometimes Sam is hilarious in the things he does. It's just the way he goes about his day-to-day.
Wojdan Stojanovski, because he's always smiling and laughing, and he doesn't say anything about this, he's just smiling.
I think Charles Jenkins. He every time some joke, he sing every time. He's not good singer, but he sing every time and joke with all people. Everybody loves him in the locker room and all people around the court.
Let's say Melih Mamutoglu, because he's always saying some silly things that no one understands.
Say what?
I think he's Davis Bertans. He's always joking around. He got funny face too. He's never smiling, but when he smiles, it's just funny because he's Davis. He's a special guy. He's always playing, and I don't know, even with his finger, he missed one finger. He's always joking with his I don't know, doing some bullshit things like this.
Say Pargo. I just think some of the stuff he doesn't say is always that funny, but his delivery, the way he says it, is hilarious.
I would say Adonis Fotis. Just the way he expresses himself, you know. When he talks, you can actually believe what he's saying, and he tells stories all the time. All the time, he has some of the best and funniest stories I've ever heard.
I think it's me and Salah because, you know, always you make some joking to the other players and you enjoy every day different.
I think Yevtoga is the funniest teammate because, like, he's always talking, always making jokes, and he's the one.
It's good for us to wake up before the practice.
I think it's me.
For any basketball player desperately waiting for an opportunity to shine, take heart in the lessons learned this time last year by a player who is now a Turkish Airlines Euroleague star, Maccabi Electra Tel Aviv center Alex Tyus. When he averaged just 10 minutes during his first regular season with Maccabi, no one was more surprised than Tyus himself.
I played Euroleague before I came to, and I kind of knew what to expect. But as the season went on, I didn't expect to, you know, not be able to play that much in the beginning of the season.
From his spot near the end of Maccabi's bench, Tyus had to decide how to deal with his unexpected situation.
Just try to focus on myself, what I could do to make an impression, to get out on the court. A lot of times when guys are not playing as much, you know, they try to look, you know, for the blame, and you just have to kind of look inside yourself and look in the mirror and realize what you need to do to be able to get out on the floor, get minutes, and make an impact.
Because his chance might arise at any time, Tyus had to be ready at all times.
It's one of those things where you just have to stay focused every day. Try to improve yourself. Maybe you may get 5 minutes here or 10 minutes there, and if you play well within that time frame, and you know the season's a long stretch, so you know guys are playing well at times, and other times are struggling a little bit. So maybe you'll get an opportunity when someone's struggling, and to be able to take advantage of that situation.
When his opportunity arrived, Tyus first established himself as a rebounder and defender. Then he became a scoring threat, posting 3 double-doubles in last season's top 16.
Confidence was a big thing. It came from first playing to, doing what I can to make an impact without making mistakes, to stay on the floor, to getting more comfortable, getting in rhythm, getting my shape up to where I could do more and show a little bit more as the season went on.
Soon, Tyus led the top 16 in two-point shooting, making more than 80% of his attempts, and became a highlights regular with an endless string of alley-oop dunks and skywalking blocks.
The team realized that I was really good at picking and cutting and finishing around the basket, and we used it to our advantage, especially to get the other guys open shots. And we started drawing 2 defenders inside and finding the open man, and so we used it as a strength, and we figured out how I could impact on offense and as well as defense by rebounding and blocking shots.
The best was yet to come, as Tyus, still coming off the bench, led Maccabi to the Final Four as he was named the B-Win MVP of the month for the playoffs. While moving from the end of the bench to the centre of the action, Tyus was uplifted by the encouragement he received every step of the way from his teammates.
As the season went on, all the guys were really happy for me. They respected me a lot. I think they could tell that I was going through a lot earlier in the season, and they were there for me pretty much the entire year, and we made the most of it.
One teammate who Tyus leaned on was Tyrese Rice, whose heroics in the Final Four kept Maccabi's miracle run alive.
I used to talk to Tyrese all the time because early in the season he wasn't really playing a lot as well and playing, at a high level, and we would always talk about what we can do to, get better, and we made it happen.
The result was a Euroleague title that few experts had predicted. Even fewer would have counted just a few months earlier on Tyus being right in the middle of Maccabi's championship run.
I think it was just got on a roll last year. Everybody was playing well, and when you're a part of something that's special, it just brings the best out of everybody. And then a lot of the guys really played, tremendously outside themselves, and that's what you need to win, Final Four games, playoff games, championship games, and everyone met the challenge.
In meeting his challenge last season, Tyus learned a lot about himself.
It taught me to don't take anything for granted, don't expect anything. You always got to go out there and show and prove every day. Nothing comes easy. Maybe when I first came to Maccabi, I thought that it was just a little magic dust where I was just going to go out there and play well, and everything was going to work in my favor. But I had to learn the hard way to get my spot and try to do well and make the most of it.
A lot of Turkish Airlines Euroleague stars shined brightly in Top 16 Round 3, but none did better than CSKA Moscow combo guard Nando De Color, who led his team to a valuable road win against Anadolu Efes Istanbul. De Color paced CSKA's 69-78 triumph Thursday with his Euroleague career high of 22 points, while making 12 of 13 free throws. He added 4 more Euroleague personal highs, with 7 rebounds, 4 steals and 12 fouls drawn, and a performance index rating of 34, the highest for any Euroleague player in the Top 16 Round 3. Now let's check out the top 5 plays of the round.
Number 5, Istanbul, Turkey. Fast break from Olympiakos, and it's Tremel Darden looking for options. Does it all himself. Makes it look easy. A great move in midair from Tremel Darden for a big hang time slam. Number 4, Tel Aviv, Israel. Time running out in the third quarter. Nate Linhart weaves his way towards the basket and just in the nick of time improvises a spectacular one-handed buzzer-beating three-pointer. Number 3, Belgrade, Serbia. Nikola Kalinic races to the basket versus Zvena Zvezda, but look out! Justin Carter with the never-say-die spirit to make a ferocious block. Number 2, Athens, Greece. A tried and trusted combination for Panathinaikos. Dimitris Diamantidis to James Gist. A show-stopping alley-oop slam. Diamantidis to Gist. Number 1 play of the week from Istanbul, Turkey. Fenerbahce possession. The unstoppable Jan Vesely threw a foul and somehow flips the ball over his head. An impossible layup to spark huge celebrations. Jan Vesely, how did he score? Fabulous play.
Tradition abounds in Top 16 Round 4 as one pair of Euroleague classics meet for the 25th time among 4 games on Thursday, while 2 more historic opponents highlight 4 Friday showdowns by marking 3 decades since they first played each other. In its quest for a return to the playoffs, EA7 Emporio Armani Milan must defend its home court against feisty Fenerbahce Ulker in Thursday's Game of the Week, which features a showdown between 2 of the most interesting young players in the game, Alessandro Gentile for Milan and Bogdan Bogdanovic for Istanbul. Undefeated Top 16 Group E leader Real Madrid welcomes old adversary Panathinaikos Athens to town for their 25th meeting since 1963. As 2 of the most experienced forwards in the competition, Andres Nocioni for Los Blancos and Antonis Foxes for the Greens, guarantee a great battle on this season's final forecourt. In the same group, another classic is served when Žalgiris Kaunas receives Maccabi Electra Tel Aviv 30 years and 1 week after their first game. Look for a heavyweight challenge between a pair of veteran centres, Robertas Yavtokas of Žalgiris and Sophoklis Kortsanitis of Maccabi, to be at the heart of this outcome. Also in Group E, Galatasaray Live Hospital hosts Alba Berlin, while FC Barcelona welcomes Crvena Zvezda for the first time this century. In Group F, Anadolu Efes Istanbul flies to Russia to face Nizhny Novgorod in another big test on the road, as the visitors look to veteran Stratos Perperoglu to lead against the host scoring machine Taylor Rochesty, unbelievable three-point shooter. Meanwhile, group leader Olympiacos Piraeus and Laboral Kucha Vitoria renew their long-time rivalry in Greece, as the hosts count on a resurgent Matloyeski to stay hot at the same time that they try to overcome an old teammate, shot blocker Mirza Begic. The Group F is completed by CSKA Moscow trying to stay perfect for the season, as Unicaja Malaga visits the Russian capital. We'll be back next week.